Welcome, everyone, to the last home game in 2018 and the last regular season game here for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks and the YD Red Sox. I'm Robert Marcho along with Chris Lucy. And Chris, today we have on the mound for the Harbor Hawks, Jacques Pichou.
Yep, out of Austin P State, he's getting his first start of the Cape League summer, and he was a starting pitcher down at AP. So this is really kind of his strong suit. This is where he's most comfortable, and he was outstanding down at Austin P this season. A 7-1 record, 3.91 ERA, 12 appearances, all of them starts. Stretch it out for 73 and 2/3 innings pitched, 81 strikeouts, a 249 batting average against. So Pichou is somebody that really can stretch things out for Hyannis and also just straight up get outs. That's what got him out here late in the season, and it's going to help Hyannis make a push late in the season to try and maybe wrap up a title.
It sure can. Quickly going to go around the infield for you for the Harbor Hawks today. Pedro Pages is behind home plate. Over at first is Brady Lindsley. Over at second is Taylor Garris. Over at shortstop is Davis Wenzel. Over at third is Seth Gray. Out in left field is Matthew Barefoot. Out in center field is Tommy June to round up. The defensive nine is Trevor Hauver.
Leading off for YD, the center field for Fresno State, number 7,
Zach Ashford to lead things off today. Here from McKeon Park. YD Red Sox today are in their road red jerseys with white pants. Why the Harbor Hawks are in their white home jerseys, white pants with orange sleeves. Good crowd here today on for the last regular season game as Harbor Hawks still trying to find out where they are seated, but the YD Red Sox are sitting pretty comfortably in first base. And the first pitch from McKeon Park is a low off-speed pitch in for a strike. Swing and a miss by Ashford. Infield for the Harbor Hawks playing at regular depth.
Yeah, there's plenty at flux in this game, Robert.
And the 0-1 pitch from Jacques Pichou. That is called a strike quickly down in the count. 2 strikes is the leadoff man and Zach Ashford.
Another thing fans have to look out for today is the batting race between Matthew Barefoot and Noah Campbell for the batting title in the Cape League this year.
And the 0-2 pitch. That is outside for a ball. Didn't tail back in the strike zone.
Barefoot has a .001 lead over Noah Campbell, who just qualified for the batting title, racking up enough at-bats yesterday.
And the pitch from Pichou. That breaking ball is in the dirt for a ball. Count even at 2-2. A beautiful day here in downtown Hyannis. Not a lot of clouds in the air. Pretty warm and humid day for some late season baseball. The playoffs start this weekend. And the 2-2 pitch. That is sent high in the air up to Seth Gray over at third. He's under it and catches it for the first out to start this game in the top of the first.
The next batter for the Red Sox, the shortstop from Keller, number 4, Christian Koss.
Christian Koss now up. He's the shortstop today for the Red Sox.
He's got 118 at-bats on the season. He's batting .255.
And the first pitch to Koss in his at-bat. That breaking pitch is in for a strike low. Just catches the bottom of the zone. And the pitch from Pichou. That next pitch is sent up high in the air to Brady Lindsley. He has to cover his glove over his face to be able to see it as the sun is shading towards his way, and he's able to catch it for the second out. 2 quick outs in the top of the first with now the third man up, Noah Campbell. You said Lyle, or sorry, not Lyle, Chris. See, I keep thinking I'm going to call it Lyle, but Chris, sorry there, Chris.
No, you're fine. Don't worry. Lucy, Lyle type thing. It would screw anyone up. But yeah, Noah Campbell and Matthew Barefoot are neck and neck.
And the first pitch to Campbell is in low for a ball. As I'll be doing the first game of the playoffs with Lyle. Game 1, we'll have to see where it is, if it's here at McKeon Park or it is somewhere else. That next breaking ball pitch bounces in the dirt. Good stop by Pedro Pages, though.
Yeah, again, there's just a lot at motion right now. If Hyannis is able to win today and Wareham loses, they take first place and definitely have home field advantage.
And the pitch, that is sent high out to right field. Trevor Hauver is under it, and he's able to catch it for the third out. YD goes 1, 2, 3. They'll be on defensively. The Harbor Hawks will be up for the first time today. We will be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voices of the Hawks, Rob Marcello and Chris Lucy.
To start things off in the bottom of the first inning, Davis Wenzel is up. The pitcher for the YD Red Sox is Brady Batten.
He plays his college ball down at Houston Baptist University. He's only appeared in one game for the YD Red Sox so far. Went 4 1/3 innings in a tie, 4-4 against Chatham.
In the first pitch to Davis Wenzel is sent out to center field on the line. Being able to catch it is Ashford. For the first out, just had to move a couple of steps to his right and able to catch it for the first out.
He's off to a good start. And it's all really about just getting reps for Batten. He played a couple years at junior college and kind of settled into his role at Houston Baptist this year. Only pitched 13 innings to a 4.15 ERA and a 1-1 record.
Tommy Jew now up. Behind the plate today for the Red Sox will be Dyer. And the pitch to Tommy Jew is in low. Over at first is Dushback. Over at second is Campbell. Over at shortstop is Cost. Over at third is Quintana. Out in left field is Codden. Out in center field is Ashford. And to round up the 9 is Albert out in right field. That next pitch is fouled off to Tommy Jew. Lands just right near his shin area, but he's okay. In the on-deck circle is Matthew Barefoot. I think it's a little ironic, Chris, that Matt goes to Campbell and the guy that he's going against, his last name is Campbell.
I thought about that too.
Next pitch is in low for a ball.
And it is kind of almost an opposite kind of thing here. Matthew Barefoot going from North Carolina.
And the pitch into Jew. That is a swing and a miss at that off-speed pitch.
It's a battle of the big kind of entrenched baseball program in Campbell from South Carolina, a Gamecocks program that is massive, has turned out many Major League ball players, and then Campbell from North Carolina at the smaller Campbell University.
And the next pitch into Tommy Jew. That is a ground ball caught right by the pitcher. He'll just toss it on to first for the second out. A ground ball that popped right before the pitcher's mound, right up to Batten. He was just being able to go on to first and just throw it over there. He probably, if he really wanted to, he could have just tagged him.
I don't know about that. I mean, you got to give Tommy Jew some credit. He is one of the speediest guys on this Harbor Hawks roster. So you take liberties with that. Tommy Jew might beat you out, but a very heads-up play from Batten. Really impressive there to snare it.
Too quick gone. Now Matthew Barefoot up. First pitch is grounded right to the third baseman. He'll throw it on to first. A good play by Quintana for the third out. Both teams go 1-2-3 to start after one. Still 0-0. YD will be up in the top of the second. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
In combination with the Hyannis Harbor Hawks and Ocean Street Studios comes a brand new show bringing you everything Harbor Hawk. This is Birds of the Word, a comprehensive new way to engage with your favorite summer ball team. I'm your host, Harrison Myers, and every Thursday until the end of the 2018 Cape League season, we'll bring you everything Harbor Hawk. Interviews with players and coaches, behind-the-scenes tours, and stories you may not have heard about. Make sure you subscribe today so you don't miss any of the action.
To start things off in the top of the second inning for the YD Red Sox is Andrew Dashback. He's the first baseman today. After him will be Nick Quintana. In the on-deck circle, Dashback, the last time we saw him was yesterday, just a day ago. He was wearing stirrup socks, but today decides to bring them down and now is wearing just regular pants the way they normally are wearing. And the first pitch to start the top of the second is a breaking ball, and that will go foul.
Yeah, the pull-down pants legs are kind of in vogue amongst the younger generation of ball players, but you'll still get some holdouts. You see Nick Quintana over in the on-deck circle, still pulling him up with the stirrups, and then Pichu likewise on the mound.
Well, you see now in some of the college levels and major league levels, just after this pitch, that is a ground ball that will not get past Seth Gray, but just throws it over in time, and he is out. A great play by Seth Gray as he just dove right to his left, threw it on to first there. Dashback there slowed up just a little bit, thinking that he was going to be safe, but proves costly there for the first out in the top of the second inning.
Yeah, Seth Gray let a chopper like that beat him down the left field line yesterday, and YD obviously was on his mind there as he went full extension again and was able to snare that one and redeem himself a little bit, although both of those plays are incredibly tough to make.
Quintana now up, and the first pitch. That is called a strike, finishing my lovely story about stirrups. You see guys now more in college, they're designing them with stripes and everything, and now everyone's wearing them. It was kind of a lost art for a number of years.
Everything that's old has just become cool now all of a sudden.
In the pitch. That is sent foul, just right past the YD Red Sox bench.
I think that can just go across a lot of mediums in society when you think about it. Everything that's kind of retro has become very hip, and throwback jerseys throughout the Cape and major leagues are selling like crazy.
The next pitch into Quintana. That is outside for a ball, trying to get on the chase. Outside breaking pitch, but Quintana just stays there and doesn't move his bat. Jock Pichu, normally a relief pitcher, but today, Coach Gassman throws him out there as a starter. And the pitch. That is in low. Good stop by Pedro Pages. Throws it back to Pichu. Home plate umpire, though, gives Pages just a little break and throws it back.
Little show of sportsmanship right there from Larry Rosenberg. Got to give a little love to the guy who defends you from 95-mile-per-hour heat.
Pichu steps back on the mound and the pitch. That is sent high up in the air, right over to Eric Rivera over at second base, and he's able to catch it for the first out. Or sorry, for the second out of the inning.
You know, Robert, I think there's so many things just kind of flying around today with the Harbor Hawks that we neglected to mention Eric Rivera is making his first start at second base all season long. I mean, is that incredible or what? There's just so many moving parts to this game. Eric Rivera, another one.
As Taylor Garris at first was in the lineup, making a late change. Quinn Cotton is up. And the next pitch is outside for a ball.
But, I mean, getting back to changes, Robert, this team has just undergone a complete facelift over the last couple of days.
They sure have. And the pitch. That is outside.
I mean, just yesterday, Hyannis activated 6 new players on contracts for a potential playoff run.
Next pitch into Quinn Cotton. That is sent foul. Cotton wears the extender on his helmet like a lot of Major League pitchers do now. Or sorry, Major League hitters. Some pitchers do wear it even too. It's National League pitchers don't like to bat, but they're in the lineup. But here in Cape Cod, they don't allow them to bat. That next off-speed pitch is outside for a ball. Pichu still on the mound. Wants to throw the next pitch. That off-speed pitch is fouled off. Just plopped right in, right down the middle there. Cotton just unable to catch up to it in time because it was in the air for so long.
Pichu boasting some nasty breaking stuff. He's not someone who blows you away with velocity necessarily, but can definitely fool you and throw those breaking balls for strikes.
And the next pitch to Cotton. That is sent high in the air out to center field. Tommy Jew runs after it and drops it. He's unable to catch it. Cotton's going to run all the way to third. He's going to slide in for a 2-out triple. There, Tommy Jew almost got it there. Just leaped over trying to catch it and took a bad approach on it, and now that's a 2-out triple.
Well, Tommy Jew has been incredible in center field this season, but he's not Superman. Quinn Cotton just roped that baseball. Tommy really with no chance at it, and that's triple number 2 on the year for the WAC MVP for Grand Canyon University on 2018.
Now up is Reese Albert. Reese in a big spot here with a man in scoring position at third. Still 0-0 here from McKeon Park to start off the top of the second. First pitch from Pichu, and this at bat is sent up high in the air. Seth Gray is under it just past third base, and he catches it. Pichu's able to get out of this one. It's still 0-0 here from McKeon Park. The Harbor Hawks will be up in the bottom of the second. It's still 0-0. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voice of the Hawks, Rob Marcello.
Todd Lott now up to start the bottom of the second inning. Andrew Dushback getting his glasses from the Whitey Red Sox dugout as the sun is blaring out here at McKeon Park as Not a lot of shade to be had here today. And the first pitch is outside for a ball to Todd Lott. Todd Lott, one of the big power hitters for the Harbor Hawks, and then someone that's emerged as a power guy that we really haven't seen all year long in the on-deck circle, and Seth Gray. And the 1-0 pitch into Lott. That is outside in the same exact spot. Call the ball.
You're not wrong, Rob. Honestly, a few days ago, Seth Gray was just a couple inches away from back-to-back games with home runs. He hit a double right off the top of the wall in right field.
And the next pitch to Lott is a swing and a miss. At that off-speed pitch. Count now at 2-1. After Seth Gray will be Pedro Pages. He's the catcher today for the Harbor Hawks. Nobody out in the bottom of the second. And the next pitch to Lott. That is in low. Count now at 3-1. Batten having a little trouble with his control in the first inning, but was able to get out of it 1-2-3. And the next pitch to Lott. That is a foul ball. Okay, it was a pass ball, but went right past Dyer. Counts now at full 3-2. Nobody out in the bottom of the second, 0-0 here from McKeon Park in this last regular season game matchup. And the pitch. That is a ground ball to the shortstop, and Koss, he has it. He'll throw it on to first for the first out in the bottom of the second.
Tip your hat right there to Brady Batten, breaking the bat of Todd Lott on that swing, just getting one in on his hands.
Seth Gray now up. Currently on a hot streak as he had one home run the other night, then hit a ball that was right off the wall that I called was a home run, but actually was a double to take the lead. And then yesterday had a clutch hit in the top of the first inning to put the Harbor Hawks up early. And the pitch, that is right down the heart of the plate for a strike. Strike one. Pedro Pages in the leadoff or on the on-deck circle, and then after him will be Trevor Hauver. 0-1 pitch to Seth Gray. Swing and a miss at that fastball from Batten. 2 strikes now on Seth Gray. Has to protect here. Infield for the YD Red Sox in regular depth. And the 0-2 pitch into Seth Gray. That's a ground ball to the second baseman, and Campbell, he'll throw it on to first for the second out. In the bottom of the second.
Yeah, Seth has definitely gotten a bit more aggressive at the plate since he's found that power stroke. And he's barreled up a couple of them. Got a little bit on top of that one there, though. Sent a worm burner over to Campbell.
Pedro Pages now up. Having fun during batting practice today. Was dancing around listening to Bobby Melly's music. Now he plays it before during batting practice. First pitch. Call the strike outside part of the plate. If Pedro Pages is able to get on, then Trevor Hauver will be up. What were you saying, Chris?
I don't think Pedro was the only one having fun on the Harbor Hawks during BP today.
Next pitch is in for a strike. I know who you're referencing, Chris.
Scout liaison intern David Mandelberg had a little bit of fun taking some hacks down on the cage for the Harbor Hawks today.
He sure did. Had a fun time. And the next pitch to Pages. That is high outside for a ball. A lot of fun. Even Lyle wanted to take a couple hacks out of there. But just they didn't have enough time.
I mean, he should have, realistically.
Should have, absolutely.
He won a state championship playing baseball back in Washington.
Back in high school. His senior year.
What a way to go out.
Next pitch to Pages is outside, low in the dirt. Yeah, he has a lot of good stories about that. For sure. It's definitely a memory you'll never forget. Ending your career that way.
Absolutely. And he played with a couple of guys who were out on the Cape this year as well.
And the next pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 by Pedro Pages. Unable to keep up with that off-speed pitch for the third out in the bottom of the second. A quick way to start. No runs, no hits by either, or one hit from the Whitey Red Sox, but no hits for the Harbor Hawks. Whitey will be up in the top of the third. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voice of the Hawks, Rob Marcello.
Welcome back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Zach Zubia now up. Pichu struggled a little bit in the top of the second, was able to get out of it. This is my solo inning. Chris will join me back in the top of the fourth inning. First pitch is outside for a ball. And then Chris will have his solo inning in the seventh inning. Next pitch into Zupia is outside for a ball. Still 0-0 here from McKeon Park to start the top of the third. It is 6:27 and the next pitch. That is outside for a ball again. Jock Pichu trying to get out of this third inning, still with it being 0-0. And the next pitch to Zubia. That is in for a strike called. And for the Harbor Hawks playing at regular depth. Eric Rivera making his first start over at second base. And the next pitch. That is outside for ball four and a leadoff walk for the YD Red Sox. We'll get their second man on for the day.
The next batter for the Red Sox, the catcher from the University of Arizona, number 5, Matthew Dyer.
Matthew Dyer now up, the catcher today for the YD Red Sox. Taking the lead off of first is Zubia. Action currently going on in the Harbor Hawks bullpen. And the first pitch to Pichu. That is in low for a ball. Pages and Pichu now meeting out on the mound to discuss things. Matt Dyer is up. Pichu's pitched a couple of innings in relief, but this is the first time in a while that he has pitched. He had one appearance in 7 games. Zubia taking a small lead off of first, being covered by Brady Lindsley. And the pitch in from Pichu is in low for a ball inside. That hanging curve ball there. Just going lower in the zone, can't leave it up. Any player in the Cape Cod Baseball League can make you pay for it. Next pitch is fouled off.
And so you can keep that foul ball tonight, thanks to Rogers and Gray Insurance.
And the next pitch for Pichu is in low for a ball, having a little hard time with his command. To start the third inning, has a walk and is in danger of walking Dyer. Crowd still piling in here at McKeon Park. And the pitch. That is sent high out to left field, and that will get down. Matthew Barefoot has to pick it up and use his chest to be able to block the ball. Now there'll be runners at first and second with nobody out to start the top of the third. Top of the order and back now up, Zach Ashford. Now up, and that might be Jacques Pichou's day as Chad Gassman now coming out, and that will be. We'll allow this new reliever to be able to come in the top of the third inning. It is still 0-0 here from McKeon Park. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harborhawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. Back to Chad Gassman making all the right moves on the Hyannis Harborhawks Digital Network.
Welcome back here on the Hyannis Harborhawks Digital Network. Matthew Marsili is on the mound now for the Harborhawks. Newly added pitcher today. Bunch of new guys coming in for the Harborhawks. Runners at first and second. A bunt is down high in the air and will land foul. This hits the netting behind home plate here at McKeon Park. Zach Ashford still up. Runners at first and second. Nobody out. 0-0 here from McKeon Park to start the top of the third. Runners at first and second taking a small lead. And the next pitch brought back the bunt was Ashford, and that will be a ball. Glad he didn't offer at that one. Seth Gray playing in over at third. Brady Lindsley just holding on the man over at first. And bunt around by Ashford. That will be bunt right near home plate. Throws on to first as Pages. Gets off of Rivera's glove, and a run will come home. It is now 1-0. Red Sox here in the top of the third. Pages threw a high ball over to Eric Rivera covering first base, and Rivera unable to catch the ball, and it will now be 1-0 YD. Chris Koss now up. Runners at the corners, nobody out, 1-0 Red Sox. If you're joining us. And the first pitch to Koss from Marsili, and that is sent high on the air out to right field. Trevor Hauver under it. The runner does come home, though. It is now 2-0 YD. Sacrifice fly there by Chris Koss. Second runner comes home, 1 out, and there's a man still over at first. Noah Campbell now up, currently in the batting title conversation, and if all holds up today, he more than likely will be the batting champ. Seth Gray trying to check just to make sure that runner over at third did tag the bag. But the home plate umpire said that he did give himself enough time. Runner over at first, and Dyer taking a small lead. And the pitch. That will be a ball. Over at first is Zach Ashford. As Ashford got on by an error by Pedro Pages. And the pitch, but this looks back over at first to Noah Campbell. He is up. Action continuing to go on in the Harbor Hawks bullpen. And the pitch. That is in for a strike. Runner still over at first, and Ashford taking a small lead. Brady Lindsley covering him, though, 2-0. YD Red Sox, if you're joining us here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. There is 1 out in the top of the third. Looks back over at first again. Didn't even go back, was Ashford. Playing mind tricks with Marsili. Next pitch is a ground ball to Brady Lindsley. He's going to run on to first, and he is out. Just in time on a tag. First base bag. Runner over at second, though, advances from first to second. Now 2 outs with a runner at scoring position. Andrew Doshbach. Now back up. The last time he was up, he grounded out in the top of the second. Runner over at second. Taking a small lead. Marsili. He sets himself as unsure what pitch he wanted to throw. Back on the pitching rubber. First pitch. That off-speed pitch outside for a ball. Infield for the Harbor Hawks playing at regular depth. And the pitch. That is in low for a ball. In the on-deck circle is Nick Quintana. And the pitch. That is sent out to right field. On it is Trevor Hauver, and he is unable to catch it. A run does come home, though. Hauver taking his time to get up. It is now 3-0 Red Sox. Here, and after 2 innings of very good baseball pitched by Pichu, he gets out right before the runs are scored and is now 3-0. Now up is Nick Quintana. If he's able to get on, Quinn Cotton is on the on-deck circle. And the pitch. That is sent out to left field. That will get down in the gap. Matthew Barefoot able to get it. Throws it to third. But Wenzel cuts it off, and now there'll be runners at the corners with 2 outs. 3-0 YD Red Sox. Quincott now back up. Last time he was up, he got a triple. Sent a roper out to center field that Tommy Jew was unable to get under and be able to catch it. Hit the 394 sign. Bounced right up against the wall, and Tommy Jew quickly had to throw it in to make sure it wasn't a round tripper that didn't even get out of the ballpark. That first breaking pitch is in low for a ball. Runners at the corners, 2 outs. 3-0 YD. Action going on in the Harbor Hawks bullpen. A lot of newly acquired players that the Harbor Hawks want to see. And the pitch. That is just outside. Doesn't catch the outside low part of the plate. Page is trying to frame it back in the zone. Runners are still at the corners, though. It's 2 outs, 3-0 YD. Marcelli trying to get out of this one. And the pitch. That is in low for a ball. Marcelli trying to get out of this inning as he's let up a couple. One is earned, though, to him. The other 2 are to Pichu, but only one of them is earned. Ground ball to Wenzel, tosses it over to Eric Rivera over at second. Harbor Hawks able to get out of this one, but not before they let up 3 runs. They'll be up in the bottom of the third. It is 3-0 YD. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. You're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Let's get you back to the game.
Welcome back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Trevor Hauver is now up. Trevor Hauver, the first time he's up today in the on-deck circle is Eric Rivera. 3-0. The Harbor Hawks are down early. Still my solo inning. Chris will join me back in the top of the fourth. And the pitch. That is outside for a ball. Harbor Hawks trying to cut down this 3-0 lead. Try to get ahead in most of their games, but the Harbor Hawks here today are down early. And the pitch. That off-speed pitch is outside, but called a strike. And the 1-1 pitch into Trevor Hauver is in low for a ball. Bounces in the dirt. Good stop, though, by Dyer. Count now at 2-1. No action in the YD Red Sox bullpen early as they have most of their guys still here, but the Harbor Hawks, a lot of roster turnover. The next pitch is grounded over to the pitcher. Throws it on to first for the first out in the bottom of the third inning. Batting on that play. There for the first out. Eric Rivera now up. After him will be Brady Lindsley. Eric Rivera laid out over at second base. Taylor Garrison on the lineup tonight. And the first pitch from Baden into Rivera is called an outside ball. Just outside. A lot of people on their phones here today, scoreboard watching to see where the Harbor Hawks end up. Then also a big series this weekend from the hometown team, the Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees. That first game starts at 7 o'clock. Everybody has an off day on Friday, but then the playoffs start on Saturday. And the pitch. That is called a strike low. Action continuing to go on in the Harbor Hawks bullpen. And the pitch to Rivera. That is outside and in the dirt for a ball. Been a little frustrated with himself there. Trying to get that outside slider, trying to get Eric Rivera to bite. But not a chance he was going to bite at that one. And the pitch. That is called a strike. 2 strikes now on Rivera. 3-2 count. 1 out in the bottom of the third. 3-0 YD. And the pitch. That is a ground ball to the third baseman. He has it. Throws it on to first is Quintana for the second out. Quintana with a nice backhanded play there. Throws it on to first where Dushback was waiting for the second out. Brady Lindsley, the 9th man in the order for the Harbor Hawks, now up. If he's able to get on, then the top of the order with Davis Wenzel would be up. Harbor Hawks trying to come back from this 3-0 deficit early here from Keene Park. First pitch from Batten to Lindsley is a ground ball to the first baseman and Dushback. Those are the pitcher and Batten for the third out. A quick bottom of the third. 1, 2, 3. The Harbor Hawks are still down 3-0. Whitey will be up in the top of the fourth. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
Back to Chad Gaspin making all the right moves on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Mitch McIntyre, the new pitcher for the Harbor Hawks. To start things off, the top of the fourth. First pitch is in for a strike into Reese Albert. He was the only man that did not bat in the third inning. He almost batted around. Next pitch to Albert. Fouled off right behind the netting here at McKeon Park. Ball boy for the Harbor Hawks goes out and gets the ball and will run it right back. Infield for the Harbor Hawks playing at regular depth. Chris Lucy joins me back in the booth. Hope you enjoyed your break, Chris.
Absolutely, I did.
Next breaking ball pitch is sent foul right past the first base coach of the YD Red Sox and will land in their bullpen as a bullpen pitcher is able to get the ball.
Yeah, the YD Red Sox really jumped on the Harbor Hawks while I was gone.
Next pitch to Albert. That is a ball high. That fastball there, Albert did not offer it. And the next pitch. That is flied out to left field where Matthew Barefoot is under it, has to run for it. Right down the left field line, is able to catch it for the first out in the top of the fourth.
And breathe a sigh of relief in your first appearance in Cape Cod. Mitch McIntyre, lefty out of BYU, a two-way man for the Cougars down in Provo, Utah, able to just get himself off to a good start despite not pitching for BYU in a real game this year.
Zubia now back up, the DH. Last time he was up, he walked. And the pitch. Breaking ball in for a strike low. Right around where Zubia's knees were. And the next pitch from McIntyre's a swing and a miss at that fastball outside part of the plate. Zubia offered at that one. Quickly down in the count, 0-2. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. 2 quick gone here in the top of the fourth. McIntyre off to a good start in his performance.
Off to a good start in his Cape League season, too, which is encouraging for Hyannis. They've really tried to retool their pitching staff, and one of their new acquisitions isn't really being phased by early Cape League jitters, which honestly not a lot of pitchers can say out here.
Matt Dyer now up. The last time he was up, he singled. Came around to score. That next pitch is sent high into the gap, and it will get down as it was caught by Tommy Jew. What a catch. Tommy Jew with an acrobatic play. Looked like that was sure in the gap. Tommy Jew came under it to be able to catch it for the third out. In the top of the fourth, a surprise here for many here at McKeon Park. Harbor Hawks are still down 3-0. They'll be up in the bottom of the fourth. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voices of the Hawks, Rob Marcello and Chris Lucy.
Davis Wenzel, the top of the order for the Harbor Hawks, now up to start the bottom of the fourth. Haven't not gotten much going here today. Batten's still on the mound for the Whitey Red Sox. First pitch. That is in for a strike. Sun's starting to set here at McKeon Park. In the shade is out in left field, the shortstop, and the third baseman, and some of the center fielder. Next pitch. That is a high chopper to the third baseman, but will be foul. Ben will get a new baseball. Is thrown to him by the home plate umpire.
The home plate umpire just had a couple of words with Coach Gassman and Ron Polk as well. Not sure what they were really going about, but the three of them having a bit of an exchange down that third base line.
Next pitch to Wenzel. That is high for a ball. Wenzel had to back up just a little bit in fear of him hitting him, but he's okay. 6:56 here from McKeon Park. Not even an hour into this game, already in the bottom of the fourth. And the next pitch to Wenzel. That is in the dirt for a ball. Good stop by Dyer. Next pitch into Wenzel. That is sent high out to center field. Under it is Ashford, though. Just has to run a little bit for it in his glove for the first out to start the bottom of the fourth.
Davis just getting a bit underneath that one right there. Found a barrel over the heart of the plate, but just too low underneath the baseball and lifted it a bit high.
Tommy Drew now up, and the Harbor Hawks yet to have a hit yet this evening, as they're currently being no hit. Matthew Barefoot, though, in the on-deck circle. First pitch to Tommy Drew is in low for a ball. Harbor Hawks trying to get out of this funk that they've been in so far, and almost 4 innings of work by Batten trying to record their first hit. Next pitch into Tommy Drew is a breaking ball that will be fouled off right under the catcher's legs and will bounce right to the backstop here from McKeon Park. Today was Intern Appreciation Day here at McKeon Park, as me and Chris and a bunch of other interns got Hawks Bucks to be able to use at the pro shop here at McKeon Park.
And don't forget appreciation. We got plenty of that.
That is very true. Got our names announced and where we go to school and what we do and all that good stuff. Tommy Drew still up, 1 out in the bottom of the fourth. Harbor Hawks get to have a hit. And the pitch. That is high for a ball. Matthew Barefoot on the on-deck circle, and after him would be Todd Lott if Tommy Drew or Matthew Barefoot is able to get on. And the pitch from Batten. That is in low for a ball inside, right around Tommy Drew's belt buckle. No action still in the Whitey Red Sox bullpen, as Batten's pitched pretty well, but a lot of action in the Harbor Hawks bullpen. And the pitch. That is a swing and a miss. There for the second out of the inning, the second strikeout on the day for Batten.
Yeah, Batten has not only just been dastardly to these Harbor Hawks, he's been wickedly efficient too. 43 pitches thrown today, 26 of them for strikes.
Very effective at that. Matthew Barefoot, the left fielder today for the Harbor Hawks. 2 outs in the bottom of the fourth. And the pitch. That is called a ball. Looked like that was going to be called a strike, but the home plate umpire changes his mind. At first, that is a ground ball that will be foul, will land right off of Matthew Barefoot's shoe top. Home plate umpire at first put his hand up like he was going to call it a strike, but put it back down. And the pitch to Matthew Barefoot from Batten. That is in low for a ball. Good stop by Dreyer, being able to pick it with his glove. A lot of action here going on the final regular season day here in Cape Cod. And the next pitch is in low for a ball. An off day tomorrow for most teams. And then Saturday will be the playoffs. And the pitch. That is outside for ball 4 and a runner on for the Harbor Hawks. The first runner on the day now with Todd Lott being up. Power guy in this lineup. One swing of a bat can change this game as the Harbor Hawks are down by 3 runs.
And key for Matthew Barefoot there. His average remains at 379 on the season, while his counterpart for the YD Red Sox in Noah Campbell down to 371 on an 0 for 2 right now.
And the pitch. That is in low. Good stop by Dyer. Gets it right off his chest protector. If Todd Lott is able to get on, Seth Gray will be up as he's on the on-deck circle, taking a couple of hacks. Runner over at first and Barefoot, a small lead. In the pitch. That is in low for a ball. Light's starting to come on here at McKeon Park as the sun is going down. And the next pitch into Todd Lott is call a strike low. Man still over at first and Matthew Barefoot taking a small lead. Being covered at first by Dashback. Bobby Melly, the first base coach, instructing him on what to do. That next fastball pitch is called outside for a ball. Crowd still filing in here from McKeon Park. Good sizable crowd here for the last home game of the season. And the pitch. That is sent high up in the air to the center fielder in Ashford. He is under it for the third out of the inning. Harbor Hawks unable to get anything here. Still no hits. After 4 innings, the YD Red Sox will be up in the top of the 5th. 3-0 YD. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. We'll bring you back to the booth, but first, it's down to the sidelines with Danny Terzer.
Bullpen coach Sean Manfredo said tonight will be a staff day for the Hawks. So in order to save arms for the playoffs, which start in just 2 days, we can expect to see most of the bullpen throughout this game. Jacques Pitrou was the true starter, but through 4 innings, we've already seen from 3 pitchers, all of them newly activated on this Harbor Hawk team. And throughout the rest of the game, we can plan to see some more new faces.
Thanks, Danny. We're back here. Connor Donahue, the new pitcher for the Harbor Hawks, to start the top of the 5th inning. And the first pitch from Donahue is in low for a ball. Zach Ashford. Now up, he's 0 for 2 on the day. Flew out to left field he's 0 for 1 on the day last time. He's actually 0 for 2 on the day. Last time he was up, he got on with an error. That's considered an out, as your batting average is lowered. But he still got on base. He was able to come around to score. Next pitch sent foul.
And just like Danny mentioned in her sideline hit just a minute ago, you have a guy in here in Donahue right now who's relatively untested, both for the Hyannis Harborhawks and for the UMass Minutemen, too. He only pitched 7 1/3 innings at UMass Amherst this spring.
A local Massachusetts boy at that. Next pitch to Ashford is in low for a ball. Nobody out to start the top of the 5th inning. It is 3-0 YD Red Sox. In the pitch. That is a ground ball that will get past the first baseman and the second baseman. A leadoff base hit for Zach Ashford. Now on the day is 1 for 3.
Not the start that Donahue was looking for there, but still plenty of game left here. Hyannis is only down a couple of runs. The offense has been able to score in bunches. We'll see if they can conjure a bit of late magic.
Christian Koss. Now up. On the day, 0 for 1. He sacked fly the last time he was up. And the pitch. He goes, and that will get down the right field line. A hit and run there by Christian Koss. Just catches the edge of the bat, and he's now in second base. And a hit and run there that works for the YD Red Sox. Now runners at second and third.
Robert, I think it's fair to say that is the shortest double that we've seen here on the Hyannis Harborhawks Digital Network all season long. He just threw hands at that, and Koss able to get the nub of the bat on it and flip it out just beyond the infield dirt at first base.
Pedro Pages and now Donahue meeting out on the mound just to talk things over. Noah Campbell will be up in a big RBI opportunity. Harborhawks already down by 3-0. They got to keep this at 3. Be a tough situation, though, for the Harborhawks, but it is manageable. Infield plays in for the Harborhawks. Eric Rivera backed up just a little. Right before the edge of the grass and the dirt meet. First pitch from Donahue. That off-speed pitch is called for an outside strike. Campbell doesn't like that call. Runners at second and third. Nobody out in the top of the 5th. 3-0 YD if you're just joining us. And the pitch from Donahue into Campbell. That is a ground ball to Rivera. Looks back over third. Throws on to first for the first out. A nice job there by Eric Rivera.
Certainly the first time he's ever started at second base for the Harborhawks. And there he goes, making that play look absolutely easy. Picking it up and throwing it on to first beautifully. Very smooth play from Rivera.
Andrew Doshback. Now up, runners at second and third, 1 out. Runner over at third. And Ashford making a smart decision, not going home there because Rivera would have had him den out to right at home. And the pitch. That was not framed correctly there by Pedro Pages. Call the ball. Tried to bring it back in the zone, but the home plate umpire did not offer. Runners still at second and third, taking small leads off of both of their bags. Nick Quintana in the on-deck circle. And the pitch. That is a swing and miss at that off-speed pitch. There, this dropped right down at the last second like you drop a plate.
Just fell right off the table. Very nice breaking offering right there. This is the first time we've really seen the new right-hander on the season, and Donahue's shown some promise.
Donahue trying to get out of this one unscathed. It's going to be hard here. Infield still playing in for the Harborhawks. And the pitch. That's a ground ball that will get past Davis Wenzel. 1 run. Comes home, one of them right behind him. Running out to second base is Doshback, and he'll get down. It is now 5-0 YD. And Dosh back with a big hit there to add 2 RBIs to his day.
Just a great piece right there from Doshback. He was fooled on a breaking pitch earlier, and fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, wasn't getting fooled again, as the famous quote or misquote goes in the J. Cole song that I'm quite a big fan of, to be perfectly honest. I'm pretty jazzed that I was able to actually use it on a broadcast. Oh my goodness, this is
There
just
you
hitting
go.
me now.
The Quintana now up. And the pitch. That is a ground ball to the shortstop, and Wenzel throws it on to first for the second out. That runner from second is able to advance over to third, though. Glad, Chris, you were able to use your reference.
Oh, don't worry. I'm going to dig that one up on YouTube later and send that around to a couple of people. Intern Appreciation Day has been a fun one. Definitely gives you plenty of moments to look back on 2 years well spent with an organization as great as this.
Very true. Quinn Cotton now up. And the first pitch from Donahue is called high for a ball. And Chris, definitely at that, because last year the Harbor Hawks didn't finish the season the way they wanted to, as their season was over on August 2nd last year.
Yep. 365 days ago.
And the pitch, swing and a miss there by Cotton.
Remember, like it was yesterday, we wrapped up the season in Falmouth. Last out was recorded, and the next day you were packing your stuff up at your house. I was headed back to Connecticut for a couple days before junior year of Syracuse started. Tough moment.
And the pitch. That'll be a ball low, and a team like Bourne's definitely going to be able to feel that today, as they have their last game of the season against the Wareham Gatemen, and then also a team potentially between Brewster and Orleans. Definitely one of those teams are going to feel that at some point tonight.
Yeah, it's not easy to end the season before the playoffs. I mean, the way the league is structured, 8 of 10 teams make it into the playoffs. You really have to have a very, very tough campaign to miss the postseason here out on Cape Cod, and you feel it all year long, not just at the end.
And the pitch. That is a fly ball out to center field. On to catch it is Tommy Jew, and he's able to grab it for the third out. Not until the YD Red Sox add 2 runs to already their sizable lead is 5-0. That'll be my day for the play-by-play duties. Chris Lucy will guide you guys throughout the rest of this game. I'll be in the color commentary role. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. You're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Let's get you back to the game.
We're back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network along with Robert Marcello. I am Chris Lucy. 5-0 is the score here in the regular season finale at home for the Harbor Hawks here at McKeon Park. 5-0 again the score. YD out front. Out on the mound still, Brady Batten deals a first pitch strike to the left-handed hitting Seth Gray. And we're underway here in the bottom of the 5th inning. 0-1 the count. The pitch, hacked on and missed for strike 2. Seth Gray, 0 for 1 coming into this at-bat. Grounded out in his only other plate appearance. That was in the bottom of the 2nd. Batten has really just been slicing through this Harbor Hawks order like a hot knife through butter. Go-to pitch. Called a ball high and outside. Change-up misses, and the count now 1-2. Pedro Pages and Trevor Hopper to follow up, Seth. Hyannis still looking for its first hit. The 1-2. Ball in the dirt. Count now 2-2. Nice block from behind home by Dyer.
Seth Gray, with how patient he's been up at the plate, has really paid off for him the past really for the past week.
Absolutely. He's made a couple of tweaks to his swing that have really helped him put a little bit more power into the baseball. Now the 2-2. Called a ball inside. Count loaded 3 balls and 2 strikes on the left-handed hitting Gray against the righty in Brady Batten, who has just been shutting the Harbor Hawks down all day long. It's 5-0, and YD's out front. The payoff pitch to Gray. Hacked on and missed for strike 3. Another floating off speed pitch over the outer corner. Fools Seth Gray. He goes down for the second time today, that time swinging. 3rd strikeout of the day for Batten. And there's one away in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Seth Gray just unable to fight off that outside fastball there. Just couldn't stay home on that one and swings and misses.
Pedro Page is up to the right side of the plate now against the righty. Infield and outfield pretty much at normal depth. The first pitch. Called a ball low and away. 1-0 now the count. The first baseman dash back playing way off the line over at first base, more towards the second base because Noah Campbell is shaded up the middle. The shortstop in Koss back on the outfield dirt as well. The 1-0. Breaking ball for a strike over the outer half of the plate. Evens the count at a ball and a strike. Pedro Page is like sitting at home. 35 at-bats here, or 57 at-bats here at McKeon Park. He has a .281 batting average, the 1-1. Called a strike over the outer half of the plate, and now the count is 1-2. Only struck out 10 times in McKeon Park on the season. Trying to avoid number 11 here, down 5-0 against the YD Red Sox in game number 44. The next pitch, cut on and nubbed foul behind the third base line. Chad Gaspin watches it sail out of play. The count remains 1-2. Chad's down the third base line. Bobby Melly, the first base coach for the Harbor Hawks. Pedro Page is trying to avoid strikeout number 33 on the season. Those of you mathletes at home know he's struck out 23 times on the road. Only 10 times at here. The 1-2. Ball in the dirt. Count advances to 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Nice job there by Pedro Pages. Not swinging at that off-speed pitch that was in the dirt. A common pitch a lot of people swing at because at first glance, looks like it's coming in the strike zone.
Pages being patient at the right side of the dish right now. The 2-2. Breaking ball just misses the zone low and inside. Larry Rosenberg loading up the count. 3 balls now and 2 strikes. Page is in a battle here with Brady Batten, trying to force across the first hit of the game for the Harbor Hawks. The 3-2 pitch. Ball 4 low and inside. Same pitch draws the same result, and Pedro Pages advances 90 feet down to first base. There's one away here in the bottom of the 5th, and the Harbor Hawks have a man on first.
Great patience there by Pages, once again being able to get a walk down Trevor Hopper up. Let's see if he's able to record the first hit today for the Harbor Hawks.
Trevor's been hot over the last couple of games. He is 4 for his last 13 with a pair of RBIs. Another hit to that good stretch as he steps up to the left side of the plate would be the first hit of the game for Hyannis, trailing 5-0 against the YD Red Sox. The first pitch. Hacked on and popped up high and foul down the left field line. Quintana ranges over, and the third baseman makes the catch over his shoulder for out number 1. Trevor Hopper now down to 0 for 2 on the day. 2 away as well here in the bottom of the 5th inning. 5-0 still your score. Yarmouth Dennis leading Hyannis here from McKeon Park in the regular season finale for both ball clubs. Hyannis not sure if it's going to be able to take first place today, but they know for a fact they will be taking second place at the very least and also be starting the playoffs at home here on Saturday. Falmouth just lost a few moments ago. Eric Rivera at the right side of the plate, and the pitch. Called a ball low and away. Count now 1-0 on the FAU Owl. Eric is 0 for 1. The Katua Kettleers actually gave the Harbor Hawks a boost. 5-4 the final score out at Lowell Park. The 1-0. Hacked on and nicked foul behind home. Count now 1-1 on Eric. Katuitt just barely edging the Commodores to lock Falmouth down for third place and maintain Katuitt at fourth place, although they bounce up to 48 points on the season. 1-1 the count on Eric Rivera, and the pitch. Cut on, and another one clapped off his back foot. Count now 1-2 on the product out of FAU. Brady Batten still on the mound. The right-hander out of Houston Baptist University has been nothing short of outstanding in only his second Cape League start. Pitched 4 1/3 against Chatham earlier this year. Struck out 2, walked 5, and surrendered 2 hits. But today, he has been just about flawless, allowing no hits through 4 2/3 of innings and striking out 3, still with 2 walks. One of them standing on first in Pedro Pages. 1-2 the count to Eric Rivera, infield double play depth, and the pitch. Cut on and a grounder over to Christian Koss at short. He flips on to Campbell at second for the easy force out to end the bottom of the 5th inning. No runs, no hits, and 1 man left on base. Pedro Pages, a walk with 1 out wasted. And we go to the top of the 6th inning. Reese Albert, Zach Zubia, and Matthew Dyer due up for Hyannis, or for the YD Red Sox, excuse me, when we get back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Don't go anywhere.
In combination with the Hyannis Harbor Hawks and Ocean Street Studios comes a brand new show bringing you everything Harbor Hawk. This is Birds the Word, a comprehensive new way to engage with your favorite summer ball team. I'm your host, Harrison Myers, and every Thursday until the end of the 2018 Cape League season, we'll bring you everything Harbor Hawk. Interviews with players and coaches, behind-the-scenes tours, and stories you may not have heard about. Make sure you subscribe today so you don't miss any of the action.
Magic or TV. Magic or TV. Magic or media copyright. Back to Chad Gassman making all the right moves on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network, Coach Gassman staffing it today for the Harbor Hawks, trying to get in as many debuts as possible, as this ball club has signed 6 new players to start the postseason. Alongside Robert Marcello, I'm Chris Lucy, and now joining us for the playoffs here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network, AJ Franklin. Plays his college ball at Vanderbilt University. No record, no ERA on the season for the Commodores. Only pitched 2 2/3 innings. Struck out 2 and walked 1. The lefty faces off against Reese Albert to start things. Lefty-lefty matchup and the first pitch. A ball low and inside. And the confrontation underway. Zach Zubia in the 8 spot and Matthew Dyer in the 9 spot also due up in this inning. The 1-0. Hacked on, nicked foul just off home plate. Count even at a ball and a strike.
Game moving very quickly here tonight, Chris, already in the top of the 6th inning.
It's been moving quickly, but not necessarily in the direction Hyannis was hoping for, down 5-0 against the YD Red Sox. Reese Albert with a 1-1 count on him, and the next pitch. Raking ball just misses high and inside. Count 2-1 on the right fielder out of Florida State. Looking forward to playing one last year for legendary head coach Mike Martin as he cuts on the 2-1 pitch and sends it foul towards his own on-deck circle. Mike Martin, of course, the legend for the Seminoles. He was able to break the all-time win record in collegiate baseball at his own alma mater just this past season, the 2-2. Hacked on and popped up down the third base line. Seth Gray calling everybody off. The third baseman fighting off the gray sky, making the catch just beyond the foul line for out number 1.
Nice play there by Seth Gray. At some points, it's hard to see kind of throughout the day, but now the sun going down, here at McKeon Park's just a little bit easier to see. Has to still fight off the lights, though, as they're starting to get brighter as the night goes on.
Lights slowly coming on, and I think the lack of sunlight because of the clouds that have just set in may have made that play a little bit more difficult. Zach Zubia at the right side of the dish now. The lefty deals ball 1 low and away. Hyannis still behind 5-0, though. The YD Red Sox piling it on here at McKeon Park in game number 44 of the Cape League regular season. The 1-0 to Zubia. Pitch called a ball low and away. Reese Albert dips down to 0 for 3 with that flyout that he did to lead off the top of the 6th inning. Zubia is 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout. The next pitch. Called a ball low and inside. Count now advances to 3-0 on the designated hitter out of Texas. Set the Northwoods League record for home runs last year, the 3-0. Called a strike right down the middle. Larry Rosenberg with the emphatic strike 1 call. And now Zubia has to get back in there. The 3-1. Hacked on and missed for strike 2. Zubia quickly working himself into trouble. 16 strikeouts going into this game. 17 right now. Trying to avoid number 18. The 3-2. Cut on and grounded up the left side, down through the gap and into left field for a base hit. Zubia has his first hit of the night. He stops up over at first base. Matthew Barefoot relays the ball into the infield, and there's a 1-out knock here in the 6th inning. Matthew Dyer, the catcher out of Arizona, coming up next. 1 man on first base after a fly out to start this inning here in the top of the 6th. Zach Zubia comes through with a single. 5-0 the score. Hyannis trailing the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox. Dyer at the right side of the plate. The lefty deals a hacking strike 1. Dyer with a weak swing over the outer half. Trying to catch up to that one, but seems as though he might have thought it was a little faster off his hand. A nice changeup there from the lefty on the mound in Franklin. The next pitch. Breaking ball for another strike. That one low and inside. A nice slider crossing up today's 9th man in the order. Dyer's 1 for 2 with a single and a flyout. Time called. Larry Rosenberg putting up his hands behind home plate. And now everybody back. Infield at double play depth. The man on first. 1 away in the top of the 6th. YD leads 5-0. The 0-2. Called a ball high and away.
Franklin trying to get out of this one, only being down by 5 runs here. That's really his job coming out of the bullpen.
Hyannis got themselves down a little bit early here. Now the 1-2. Almost off the shoe tops of Dyer. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Another slider right there, just not falling off of Franklin's hand quite right. Even count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch. Hacked on and a weak pop-up down the right field line. Is chasing Hopper over towards the foul line. He loses the cap, makes the catch after losing track of the ball seemingly for a split second. Had to stop short to make the play, but he still does. So there's 2 away in the top of the 6th inning.
One thing about baseball players I've learned here, especially in Cape Cod, these guys don't wear their hats tight. They fall very easily in the wind.
That's true, and it's starting to get a little bit more overcast now. Clouds picking up, and same with the wind here at McKeon Park. The flag over in right center field really starting to get whipped about, going towards from right to left. Zach Ashford at the plate takes ball 1 low and inside. A pinch hitter now actually up at the dish for the YD Red Sox. Jonathan DeLuca, the man, taking ball 1. Plays his college ball at Oregon. The next pitch. Hacked on and a weak pop-up over towards the right side. Brady Lindsley trying to track over towards the foul line. Eric Rivera, the second baseman, calls him off on the run, makes the play. And that is the 3rd out of the top of the 6th inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left on base, and the Harbor Hawks still trail 5-0 as they go into their half of the 6th inning. Brady Lindsley, Davis Wenzel, and Tommy Jew due up for Hyannis when we get back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. You're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Let's get you back to the game.
We're back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. 5-0 the score. YD leads the Harbor Hawks as Hyannis does its best to battle back here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Brady Lindsley, Davis Wenzel, and Tommy Jew due up. Now Brady's at the left side of the plate. The righty Brady Batten still on the mound. The first pitch called a strike over the outer half of the plate. Count 0-1 on the OU catcher.
Batten's been very effective today.
Heck, he has yet to allow a hit. Comes to the set and deals the 0-1. Called a ball high and outside. Count now 1-1.
I think one thing we've seen from Batten today so far is he's done a really good job of commanding his pitches.
He absolutely has. He's only needed 3 strikeouts to get through the Harbor Hawks order with relative ease. The 1-1. Cut on and a grounder up the left side. This is a backhand stab by Koss. Let's see if he can preserve the no-hitter. No, he can't. The throw's offline. And Brady Lindsley works an infield hit to break up the no-hit bid for Brady Batten. He's on to lead off the bottom of the 6th inning.
A nice job there by Brady Lindsley, now getting the top of the order up, being the 9th man in the order, being able to get a hit off this pitcher. Big for the Harbor Hawks. Hopefully can be a trendsetter throughout the night.
The first hit of the game for Hyannis. The Harbor Hawks will need Lindsley to get a little bit of magic moving. They're down 5-0 against the Red Sox, who have dominated the Cape all year long and are closing out the season, at least as of now, with a statement game against Hyannis. Davis Wenzel at the right side of the plate. The righty Batten deals low and away for ball 1. That one getting in the dirt. Brady Lindsley standing over at first base. A catcher by trade, but has been playing more first this season than he ever has. Has never been a regular first baseman, and you could almost call him that right now. As the 1-0 is cut on and popped up high in the air towards the center fielder, DeLuca, who ranges over towards the right center field gap, makes the catch on the track. And there is 1 away here in the bottom of the 6th.
Wenzel there, unfortunately, just catching the end of his bat there. Pops right out to center field with some power on it, but the wind quickly knocks it down.
DeLuca out there in place of Zach Ashford, whom he pinch hit for in the previous frame. He was the final out of the top of the 6th inning. Now he'll take that spot in the order as well as his spot in center field. Tommy Jew, his counterpart in center field for the Harbor Hawks, now up to the right side of the plate with Brady Lindsley having a 2-step lead off first. The next pitch. Hacked on and another high fly ball lazily looping its way towards foul ground. It gets out of play, chasing Dashbach and Dyer over towards the line, but neither of them anywhere close to making a catch. The first baseman and catcher retreat respectively. Infield in around double play depth, trying to double off Brady Lindsley should Tommy Jew hit anything on the ground. And if he does, that would end the inning. There's already 1 away here in the bottom of the 6th after the Davis Wenzel flyout. The next pitch. Cut on, popped up, foul behind home. Tommy Jew now down in the count 0-2. And Rob, it just goes to show, we had a no-hitter through 5 innings going for the YD Red Sox, and we hardly mentioned it because there's just so much at play for the Harbor Hawks here.
There sure is, but now knowing that they're going to have home field advantage, definitely these guys are still playing and they still want to win. They still want to be able to get that first place, but definitely it's a sigh of relief for them.
As Tommy Jew hacks and misses at the 0-2 pitch for strike 3, and there's now 2 away here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And what you're alluding to there, Robert, was a 5-4 win for the Commodores or a 5-4 loss, for the Falmouth Commodores against the Katua Kettleers, which locked up second place for Hyannis. Although first place is still in play as Matthew Barefoot's up to the right side of the plate, and he nubs the first pitch he sees out into right field for a base knock, and Brady Lindsley stops up at second, advancing station to station relay throw in from the right fielder in Albert, and Matthew Barefoot with his first hit of the game. 2 men down, 2 men on, and Matthew Barefoot is extending his lead for the Cape League batting title. And as I was saying, Robert, a lot of things going on for the Harbor Hawks right now. Not only could they possibly take first place if they win tonight, and if Wareham loses, the Gatemen currently knotted with the Bourne Braves, but Matthew Barefoot is battling Noah Campbell on the YD Red Sox for the Cape League batting title. Todd Lott at the right side of the plate now. The next pitch, called a ball low and away. Count 1-0 on Todd. The UL Ragin' Cajun. He's 0 for 2 today. 2 away here. To bottom of the 6th inning. 5-0 the score. Yarmouth Dennis over Hyannis. The 1-0. Called a ball over the heart of the plate, but a little bit too low for the home plate umpire, Larry Rosenberg.
Matthew Barefoot's base hit there, just plopping right over where the second baseman would normally be there, getting the edge of his bat there. Any hit he'll take at this point to be able to win that batting title.
It bounces him up to 381 on the season. And the next pitch from Todd Lott is a chopper over towards Quintana at third base. He fields it on a hop, throws across the diamond, and gets the speedster out of Jacksonville, Florida for out number 3. Todd Lott is unhappy. He's just stranded 2 runners. No runs come on 2 hits for the Harbor Hawks. Those 2 men left on base, no errors. And now we go to the top of the 7th inning. Christian Koss, Noah Campbell, and Andrew Dashbach due up for the YD Red Sox, trying to expand a 5-0 lead when we get back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
Chad Gassman making moves here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Brandon Lamanna in for yet another season debut for the Harbor Hawks. Mitch McIntyre and AJ Franklin also making their first ever starts for the Harbor Hawks. Let's not forget Marsili, too. Brandon Lamanna, the right-hander, coming in from the University of New Haven. His first pitch, Cut on and popped up by Christian Koss over towards right field. It's chasing in Trevor Hauver, who makes the catch, calling off the second baseman Eric Rivera for out number 1 here in the top of the 7th. Chris Lucy joining you here on the Hyannis Harborhawks Digital Network. 5-0 is the score. The YD Red Sox putting up a big one on the Harborhawks right now. Noah Campbell up to the left side of the plate. The switch hitter out of South Carolina, trying to make the most of his advantage against the right-handed Lamanna. Infield playing back in the next pitch. Hacked on and missed for strike 1. The ball dribbles away from Pedro Pages in the dirt. A hit from Matthew Barefoot in the previous inning doesn't all but lock up a Cape League batting title for him over Campbell, but it makes it pretty darn close. Matthew now hitting .381. Now the 0-1 pitch. Called a ball low and away. Count even at a ball and a strike. And Noah Campbell batting at .368. These two coming into this game 1/1000th of a point separated from each other. And the next pitch, hacked on and missed. Count 1-2 on the South Carolina Gamecock. 5-0 again, your score. Lamanna deals the 1-2. High and inside. Count now 2-2. And Noah Campbell came into this game with a good bit of fanfare. Stormed atop the Cape League batting title race later in the season as he fouls off the 2-2 offering down the left field line. Showed up later than Matthew Barefoot and only qualified to take the Cape League batting title just before yesterday's game out in Yarmouth Dennis. And in that game, he started off with a sparkling .394 average over Matthew Barefoot's .377. The 2-2. Called a ball low and away. A nice frame job by Pedro Pages. But Lamanna just can't catch that corner. Count now loaded, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Campbell, though, with an 0-for in yesterday's game and an 0-for so far. The next pitch. Cut on and knocked foul. Count now remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. Campbell actually riding a 2-game hitless streak into this game. He's 0-for-7 going into today. Right now, sitting at 0-for-10 with 3 strikeouts over that stretch. As Matthew Barefoot just continues strengthening his grip on a Cape League batting title. The 3-2. Hacked on and fisted foul down the third base line. Seth Gray making a play at it, but the fly ball just drops right in front of him as Seth stops up before the Harborhawks dugout. 3 balls and 2 strikes to count on Noah Campbell. Ironically enough, Matthew Barefoot, the relative unknown that came out of Campbell University, will likely take the first batting title for the Harborhawks since Johnny Rudiger stole the crown in 2010. The 3-2. Cut on and a high pop-up down the right side. Brady Lindsley calling everybody off. The first baseman keeps track of the ball, fights off the lights, and makes the catch for out number 2 here in the top of the 7th inning. 2 away, top of the 7th. 5-0 your score. YD out front over Hyannis, and Andrew Dashback coming to the plate. Dashbach, excuse me. He plays his college baseball over at Stanford. He's 2 for 3 today with a single and a double, that 2 RBI double in the top of the 5th. Putting this game out to a 5-0 edge for YD. And the first pitch from Lamanna is a strike over the outer half of the plate. Count 0-1 on the right-handed hitter out of Stanford. Dashbach led the Cardinal in home runs this year. The 0-1. Hacked on and missed for strike 2. Led him an RBI as well. 17 round trippers and 63 runs batted in for Stanford. Came out with a bevy of fellow Cardinals. And they've been keeping in touch over the Cape League season, trying to encourage each other, but also foster some friendly competition. The next pitch, ball in the dirt. Count now 1-2 on Dashbach. One guy Dashbach has definitely been keeping in touch with over the season is Falmouth Commodores sensation in Kyle Stowers, another Stanford teammate of his who has really giving Dashbach a run for his money. The 1-2. Hacked on and missed for strike 3. 1-2-3 go the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox in the top of the 7th inning. Andrew Dashbach waving at that pitch for the first Cape League strikeout on the season for Brandon Lamanna. A sparkling debut for the right-hander out of the University of New Haven. And now we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Seth Gray, Pedro Pages, and Trevor Hopper due up to try and chip away at a 5-0 deficit here at McKeon Park in just moments on the Hyannis Arborhawks Digital Network.
Than the clouds above. You're
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
We're back on the Hyannis Arborhawks Digital Network. Chris Lucy joining you here. Hyannis trails 5-0 going into the bottom of the 7th. Seth Gray, Pedro Pages, and Trevor Hopper do up the 5, 6, and 7 hitters for Hyannis against a new pitcher for the YD Red Sox in Michael James out of Hofstra. His hometown is Brentwood, Tennessee, but he plays his college baseball up on Long Island. The 6'1" lefty coming to the set against Seth Gray. He winds and fires. First pitch ball low and away. 1-0 the count on Seth, who's 0 for 2 today with a ground out and a strikeout. Hyannis still in the midst of a shutout against the YD Red Sox. James coming to the set, and the first pitch, or the second pitch, hacked on and missed for strike 1. Even count, 1 ball and a strike. James on the mound for the YD Red Sox, the 1-1. Ball 2, high in sight. Count now 2-1. James had a 2.61 ERA for the Pride this year, 1-0 record in 17 appearances. 3 starts, 31 innings pitched, 23 strikeouts to only 10 walks. The pitch. Called a ball low and away. 3-1 the count on Seth, looking to make his first trip to the base paths. Hyannis didn't scrape a hit together until the bottom of the 6th inning. Brady Batten had a no-hitter going for a good while against Hyannis. And the 3-1 is a ball low and away for ball 4. Take your base, Seth Gray. The third baseman out of Wright State leads the inning off with a walk. And there's 1 man aboard to start the bottom of the 7th. Hyannis still trails 5-0 here on the Hyannis Arborhawks Digital Network. And now Pedro Pages comes to the plate. Today's catcher out of Florida Atlantic, 0 for 1 with a strikeout, but he also walked in the bottom of the 5th. He steps up to the right side against the lefty. Infield now back at double play depth, trying to double off Seth Gray. The first pitch, called strike. 0-1 the count. So James walked the first Cape League batter he saw. This is his debut for the Red Sox. Now he's trying to look for his first out. The 0-1. Hacked on and missed for strike 2. And Pedro Pages makes himself 1 strike away from being that first out. Seth Gray taking a slight lead off of first base, held on by Dashbach. Lights coming on here at McKeon Park, the 1-1. Hacked on and missed for strike 3. It was actually the 1-2 right there. And Pedro Page is down swinging for the first out of the bottom of the 7th. One away here. 5-0 Hyannis behind the YD Red Sox in the final game of the Cape League regular season. The Harbor Hawks still jockeying for a little bit of playoff position. They've already locked up the 2 seed in the West, but if they're able to mount a comeback here, they could steal the 1 from the gateman. Trevor Hauver at the plate. The lefty deals to the lefty, a breaking ball for a strike. Seth Gray bounces off the base on the pitch and then retreats. 0-1 the count on Trevor. He's 0 for 2. Infield still at double play depth. Outfield playing straight away. The 0-1. Breaking ball misses outside and low. Count now 1-1. Trevor Hauver, somebody who came into this game on a little bit of a mini hot streak. He's 4 for his last 12 coming into today, but after the 0 for so far, he's 4 for his last 14. Still not bad. The 1-1. Called a ball just inside on Hauver. Count now 2-1. And one thing that Trevor has really gotten a boost from this year is consistent playing time with Hyannis. He struggled to find it early on, but ever since he's become almost an everyday fixture for the Harbor Hawks, the bat has really come along. The 2-1. Hacked on and a liner out towards left field. It's chasing Cotton over towards the line, and the left fielder makes the grab for out number 2 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. So 2 away. A leadoff walk still on first base in Seth Gray, but Page is struck out and Trevor Hauver flew out. Eric Rivera now coming to the plate. Eric has yet to work a hit today. And the way that the YD Red Sox have been working through the Harbor Hawks order, he'd probably be well advised to get one soon if he wants to continue his 4-game hit streak. The first pitch. Called a ball low and inside. The lefty behind the count in the righty. 1-0. Seth Gray not leading much off of first base. Chad Gassman not giving him any signs over from the third base coaching box. The 1-0. Called strike over the outer half of the plate. Count now 1-1. Eric's batting .250 on the season coming into this at-bat, but he lived below the Mendoza line before July 18th, which was a good stretch of the Cape League season. An entire month almost. The 1-1. Ball in the dirt. Count now 2-1. But the thing that people sleep on about Eric Rivera, mainly because he's not the most outspoken guy on this Harbor Hawks ball club by a long stretch, guy who makes a run at that claim is standing over on first base in Seth Gray, who's a bit talkative. I digress. Eric is just someone who has a very refined approach to the game of baseball, and a very simple one too. Home plate umpire Larry Rosenberg now out for a word with the lefty and James. He tries not to get too high, doesn't try to get too low either. The game of baseball being such a roller coaster for some guys, but not for Rivera. He's been able to keep it cool, keep it collected, and despite not having an average above 200 for a good chunk of the season, he was still amongst the most productive hitters on this Harbor Hawks ball club. In fact, he still has the least amount of strikeouts for qualified hitters on the Hyannis season. 96 at-bats coming into today. He only had 11 strikeouts. Now 98 at-bats. This at-bat number 99 right here. He's ahead in the count 2-1. James to the set and the pitch. Hacked on and missed for strike 2. Seth Gray's on first base, and the Harbor Hawks are in danger of stranding him there. He led off the inning with a walk. 5-0. The Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox lead right now in game number 44 of 44 on the Cape League regular season. We finally made it to the end of the road, and the playoffs are just around the corner. James to the set. The 2-2. Cut on and grounded right up the middle back at James. It rolls into the outfield for a base knock. Seth Gray rolling towards third base after rounding second. The throw in behind him. He slides in safe. Eric Rivera over at first. And the Florida Atlantic infielder today has put runners on the corners with 2 away here in the bottom of the 7th. And I neglected to mention in that discourse about Rivera that not only has he kept a constant approach at the plate this season, but in the field, he's about as versatile as they come, playing outfield all over the outfield for Hyannis. Right, left, and center at least one time each, multiple times in right and left, excuse me. And today, he has his first start at second base. Brady Lindsley at the left side of the plate now. The lefty deals ball one low and away. 37 games into the season for Eric Rivera, and Chad Gassman throws him over at second base only moments before the game. But Eric's used to it. He was the everyday second baseman for New Amsterdam in the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League last year, as Brady Lindsley waves and misses at the 1-0 pitch. Count 1-1 on the first baseman today out of Oklahoma. Another guy who's had to play multiple positions in his career, Brady, a shortstop and third baseman in high school. He caught during the summers because he was jammed up behind a Baylor stud and Team USA invitee in Shea Langoliers, the 1-1. Called strike over the outer half of the plate. And now Brady Lindsley has to shorten up. Runners on the corners, 2 away here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Hyannis trying to cut their way into a 5-0 deficit here from McKeon Park on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Brady, an everyday catcher at Oklahoma this year. He's had to play first for the most part for the Harbor Hawks this year, as he is today. James to the set, the 1-2 pitch. Hacked on and missed for strike 3. Brady Lindsley goes down swinging, the second strikeout of the Cape League season for Mike James. And Hyannis scores no runs on 1 hit and 1 walk. They leave those 2 men on base, stranded at the corners. And now we go to the top of the 8th inning. Hyannis still down 5-0. Nick Quintana, Quinn Cotton, and Reese Albert, the 5, 6, and 7 hitters for YD, coming up to try and expand their lead when we get back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
I was feeling low, like below the ground, like rigid set in my bones. People calling me, but I was so depressed, I wouldn't pick up my phone. Then you turned my impossible.
There's been something I wanted to let you know. I'm kind of embarrassed, but yeah. I hope it doesn't make you feel weird. I don't know. Just listen up.
I'm feeling this aching in my chest, like a feeling of subconsciously suppressed. I can't shake it and I don't know what to do. I think it has.
We're back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network alongside Robert Marcello. I'm Chris Lucy. Another debut for the Harbor Hawks coming out right now. Man on the mound out of LIU Brooklyn, making his season debut for Hyannis, Michael Krieger. The right-hander going into his senior year after a stellar junior year, 2.20 ERA in 28 appearances for the LIU Brooklyn Blackbirds. 45 innings pitched. He struck out 57 batters, only walked 21. And did I mention a 2.20 ERA and a 4-2 record? Leads this thing off against Nick Quintana, Quinn Cotton, and Reese Albert following him up in the YD order. 5-0, the Red Sox lead. Krieger's debut ends the evening for Lamanna. The first pitch, called a ball high and outside. Count 1-0, Quintana, 1 for 3 today with a single. Lamanna, 1 inning pitched, struck out 1. No hits, no errors, no walks. The next pitch, hacked on and missed for strike 1. Quintana actually just getting a little piece of that baseball, sending it flying towards the brick backstop of McKeon Park. 1-1 now the count. The Arizona Wildcat coming up to the right side of the plate once again against the righty out of LIU Brooklyn, making his home in Derby, Connecticut. From the windup, he kicks and deals. Fastball for a strike over the outer half. Brings the count to 1-2. And one thing that jumps out about you about Krieger early on, this is the first time any of us have seen him, is a very unorthodox way towards home plate. We'll see it here on the 1-2 pitch and explain as it's cut on and roped down towards Scott Pickler over in the third base coaching box.
You guys have a pretty good view of it at home, but yeah, very strange delivery there for the pitcher, and it works for him clearly.
It goes as thus. He kind of has the mitt up to his face, peering from it, coming from a low crouch. He'll get right up top and then go into that low crouch. He's doing it right now for the 1-2 as Quintana swings and misses at it for strike 3. One away here in the top of the 8th inning. 5-0 still the score. But Krieger off to a good start in his Cape League debut, getting the strikeout.
Good
First
pitch
one
there
of the
by
season.
Krieger, and an outside slider there. Sorry for cutting you off there, Chris. But a good off-speed pitch that really had him swinging and missing at that one.
Quinn Cotton up to the plate now as we try to complete the description on Krieger's motion. First the pitch. Called strike over the outer half. Count now 0-1. He'll start with his legs straight, bring the glove over his face, crouch down, step over to the left side of the mound as Quinn Cotton calls time as he makes that step over to the left side of the mound. And then from that left side of the mound, almost with a little bit of energy from that step over, he moves towards the plate as he does right there for the 0-1. Quinn Cotton fouling it off. Count now 0-2. Quinn had a triple in the top of the second inning, but since then has made 2 outs by contact. A fielder's choice that had a 6-4 put out on Nick Quintana in the top of the third, and then a flyout to end the top of the 5th. The next pitch, called a ball. Count now 1-2. Quinn Cotton, someone they call Birdman on the YD Red Sox roster. He's not even sure why. The 1-2.
I remember you asked him before the game yesterday why they call him that, and he said, I really don't know.
2-2 now the count. Cotton watching that ball bounce in the dirt. He said it might have been because of his hair. He has a very unorthodox hairstyle. Now the 2-2. Another bouncer gets off of Pedro Pages, but the catcher chests it up and throws it back to his new righty. He has a little bit of a blonde tinge to the top of his hair. Likely does it with a little styling kit or something.
It's like a mohawk.
Just about. And now the count runs full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch hacked on and missed for strike 3. Pedro Pages briefly drops it, applies the tag to the left fielder out of Grand Canyon University, and there's quickly 2 away here in the top of the 8th inning. 2 men up and 2 men down by way of the K. Welcome to the Cape League, Michael Krieger. Pinch hitter up to the plate for the YD Red Sox in Luke Waddell. Reese Albert now out of the game. Krieger to the set. The pitch. Called a strike over the outer half. Count 0-1 on Waddell. Plays his college ball over at Georgia Tech. Has 16 hits in 72 at-bats coming into this one. Fouls off the 0-1 pitch down the left field line. And the count now advances to 0-2. 5-0 the score. Yarmouth Dennis way ahead of the Harbor Hawks here in the bottom, or top, of the 8th inning. But Hyannis trying to fight their way back in. The 0-2 pitch. Called a ball high and outside on a little bit of a hesitation move there from Krieger. He froze midway through his windup, knowing he wouldn't have a balk with no one on base, and then whipped the pitch in. It was now the 1-2. And the pitch is cut on and grounded up the left side into the gap through for a base hit. Luke Waddell, not fooled by the unorthodox moves of Krieger. He gets on first base with a 2-out single.
Krieger there looked like he was going to move right through the top of the 8th inning. Lets up that 2-out base hit. Hopefully that's all he lets up.
Chad Gassman's been pushing plenty of buttons for the Harbor Hawks today. And now Scott Pickler doing more of the same. A pinch hitter coming into this game. Catcher Adam Kerner out of the University of San Diego. 14 hits on the season, 28 games played, 58 at-bats. Carries a .241 batting average. He's at the right side of the plate against the righty out of LIU Brooklyn. A man on first, 2 away. The first pitch. Fastball way outside. Count 1-0. Kerner, you'll have to imagine, will take the DH role from Zach Zubia. The next pitch. Called a ball low and away. It skips away from the catcher Pages, rolling just halfway towards the backstop, and advancing over to first base is the runner in Waddell. They call it a pass ball on Pedro Pages. So a free 90 feet right there for Waddell. And the count 1-0. Kreidler to the set, and he deals. Fastball for a strike. And the count now goes to 2-1. Waddell's on second base. Got a pinch hit, base hit with 2 away here in the top of the 8th inning. 5-0 the score. Harbor Hawks trailing the YD Red Sox. Another pinch hitter in Adam Kerner. And he swings and fouls off the next pitch. It was a 2-1 count. Now the count's 2-2. So after a 2-out base knock, Krieger is a strike away from finishing off this inning. He'll bring the Harbor Hawks into their half of the 8th, down 5-0 if he's able to keep Waddell over at second base. Kerner digging in. The native of Agora Hills, California, waits for the pitch. The 1-2. Cut on, and it gets away from Pedro Pages. It was a 1-2 pitch, so Kerner is going to first base, and he stops up there safe, advancing to third base, Waddell, and there's runners on the corners on what should have been strike 3 to end the inning.
It should have been there, and a pass ball there by Pedro Pages proves costly. Now runners at the corners with 2 outs. With Hyannis already down by 5 runs, they have to keep it at this.
Kerner making his way up to first base by way of the K, oddly enough. And now Krieger has his first bit of Cape League adversity coming his way, with Matthew Dyer making his way up to the right side of the plate. The right-handed hitting catcher out of Arizona digging in with runners on first and third, and a golden opportunity to open up a game and expand a 5-0 lead against the Harbor Hawks here at McKeon Park. The first pitch. Check swing. Did he go around? Yes, he did, says the home plate umpire. Rosenberg rings him up, and the count is 0-1. Matthew Dyer, 1 for 3 on the day with the single, came around to score in the top of the 3rd inning. Outs by contact, an F8 and an F9 otherwise. 0-1 the count. Krieger to the set. The next pitch. Cut on and a foul pop-up down the right field line. It's out of play. The infielders will return to double play depth, looking for a play to the easiest base on Adam Kerner, The pinch hitter struck out with 2 away here in the top of the 8th inning, but it was a pass ball on Pedro Pages that enabled him to get over to first base and also advance Waddell to third, where he stands 90 feet away from making it a 6-0 ball game. Now the 0-2 on Dyer. Fastball at eye level, count now 1-2. The order turns over after this. DeLuca in the on-deck circle. He made an out in his previous at-bat. Now the 1-2 from Krieger. Cut on and a grounder up the middle. It skips off the mound and goes over to the second baseman Rivera, who backhands around second base, throws across his body to make a sensational play at first. Eric Rivera, in his first start at second base, makes an inning-ending acrobatic play, saving a run from coming across. And on 1 hit and a strikeout turned single on a pass ball, the YD Red Sox plate no runs, maintain this game at 5-0, and the Harbor Hawks go into the bottom of the 8th inning, looking to claw their way back into it. Davis Wenzel, Tommy Jew, and Matt Barefoot, the top of the order, due up in just moments on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
Back on the Hyannis Harborhawks Digital Network, I'm Chris Lucy. A new arm in the game for the YD Red Sox in Mike Cowell out of Fordham University down in the Bronx. Comes into this game with a 5-run cushion in his back pocket, facing off against Davis Wenzel, Tommy Jew, and Matt Barefoot. Top of the order for the Harborhawks, trying to finally scrape a run across. It's 5-0 YD as it stands right now. The righty deals to the righty Wenzel and plunks him right on the back. Or does it get him on the bat? Nothing exact from Larry Rosenberg, and it looks like Davis Wenzel is going to stay in. The ball actually hitting off of his bat behind his back on a badly missed pitch right there from Mike Cowell in his senior year down at Fordham, as the 0-1 is cut on and fouled off. Count now 0-2. Robert Marcello also joining me here on the broadcast. 5-0 your score. Davis Wenzel 0 for 3 today with a trio of flyouts, all of them to center field. The 0-2 just misses low and away. Count now 1-2. Davis Wenzel hitting leadoff once again for the Harborhawks. He's not a fan of the leadoff spot, though. The 1-2. Ball 2 in the dirt, gets away from the catcher in Dyer. Tries to chest it up, but it gets past him. No harm, no foul. Nobody's on base anyway. Davis hits in the 3 spot down at Baylor. He hit in the 3 spot for a good portion of the season as well for Hyannis. But he's been a very steady man at getting on base. So the Harborhawks have kept him in that top spot, despite the fact that not Barefoot, but Wenzel enjoys spending a bit more time watching the pitcher from the on-deck circle, watching him actually face live hitters, rather than just watching warm-up pitches, which, Robert, makes a lot of sense to me.
It absolutely does make sense. I think when you're a batter, you're definitely going to want to see. As a batter, you're definitely going to always want to see those kind of situations where during a warm-up pitch, you're really not seeing a lot. Seeing them actually live in action makes much more of a difference.
2-2 the count on Wenzel. The meeting adjourned and the pitch. Hacked on and missed for strike 3. Mike Cowell, in his first Cape League at-bat, records a strikeout, gets Davis Wenzel down 0 for 4 on the day. And there's one away here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Unfortunately, Wenzel unable to catch up to that high fastball pitch by their reliever for the first out.
Tommy Jew up to the right side of the plate against the righty out of Fordham. The center fielder out of UCSB, also 0 for 3 coming into this at-bat. The pitch. Breaking ball inside, count now 1-0. Just missing on that pitch. Harborhawks bats, for the most part, silent today. The 1-0, cut on and popped up high in the air out towards center field. DeLuca tracking it, fighting off the lights. Falls as he makes the catch. Did he hold on to it? Yes, he did. Bob Aquino holds his fist up. The right field line umpire making the call. Tommy Jew out for out number 2 here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
An interesting scenario there for Tommy Jew. Thought maybe he got down for a hit there. Kept running, but The first base umpire said that he caught it out in center field. A spectacular catch, having to fight off the night sky here in Hyannis and also the lights.
DeLuca with a snow cone grab out in right center field, making the grab on the run. 2 away in the bottom of the 8th. 5-0 still the score. Hyannis trailing the Red Sox. Matthew Barefoot at the right side of the plate. And the first pitch from Cowell, a ball low and away. Matthew, 1 for 2 today with a single and a ground out. He also walked in the bottom of the 4th and might have just sewn up a Cape Cod League regular season batting title. The 1-0. Ball 2, bouncer gets away from the catcher in Dyer. 2-0 now the count on the Campbell Camel. Matthew Barefoot, as things stand right now, batting .381 on the season. And his nearest competitor in the batting race in Noah Campbell just dropped down to .364 in the midst of an offer. The 2-0. Called strike right down the heart of the plate. Count now 2-1. Campbell out of South Carolina, 0 for 4. All outs by contact, but outs nonetheless. Started this game 1/1000th of a point away from Matthew Barefoot as he checks his swing at the 2-1 pitch and goes around for strike 2. Now Matthew Barefoot has to shorten up a little bit to try and extend the bottom of the 8th inning for the Harbor Hawks. Hyannis down 5-0, trying to fight their way back into this thing and see if they can challenge Wareham for first place. Hyannis needs a win if they want to come anywhere close. The 2-2 pitch. Cut on and fisted over towards first base. Backhanded stop by Dashbach. He throws onto the covering catcher in Cowell, who makes the play over at first, retiring Matthew Barefoot, but definitely not retiring his batting title chances. Matthew Barefoot might have just locked up the first Hyannis Harbor Hawks batting title this game since Johnny Rudiger in 2010. What an accomplishment for the outfielder out of Campbell University. Hyannis goes down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 8th inning, still trailing 5-0. But we go to the top of the 9th. The Harbor Hawks trying to close down YD one more time to get up for some last licks. We'll be back in just a few moments on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Bringing you everything Harbor Hawk. This is Birds the Word, a comprehensive new way to engage with your favorite summer ball team. I'm your host, Harrison Myers, and every Thursday until the end of the 2018 Cape League season, we'll bring you everything Harbor Hawk. Interviews with players and coaches, behind-the-scenes tours, and stories you may not have heard about. Make sure you subscribe today so you don't miss any of the action.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
We're back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Anthony Pecora in at third base for Seth Gray. And a new face in at catcher for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. Casey Queener now in the game for the Hyannis. And the first pitch he throws to Johnny DeLuca is cut on and lined into center field for a base hit. Second at bat of the day for Johnny DeLuca. Starts off the top of the 9th inning with the knock. 1 for 2 on the day now, and he brings up Christian Koss out of UC Irvine.
Definitely not a good start for Queener coming out of the bullpen. First batter, he lets up a hit there. Casey Queener definitely has to settle down here.
He sure does, but he's been pretty good on the Cape League season so far. Pitched 3 scoreless innings to start off his campaign. And now Christian Koss at the right side of the plate. Time called by the home plate umpire in Rosenberg. One man on first base. DeLuca starting this inning off with a single. 5-0 the score. Hyannis trailing the YD Red Sox. The first pitch. Called a ball low and away. Now 1-0 on Koss. Queener with an immaculate 3 innings of work for the Harbor Hawks. Sends the next pitch, and it is cut on and ripped out into the gap in right center field for a base hit. DeLuca rounding third base after going all the way there from first. He's into score, sliding into third base. Christian Koss with a triple. The throw getting away from Pecora over at third. Queener covering, but he just let up the 6th run of the game for the YD Red Sox, who now lead 6-0 over Hyannis. Still nobody down here in the top of the 9th inning.
YD adds another insurance run at the end of this game. Now they're up 6-0. Harbor Hawks have to keep it at this if they want to have any chance in the 9th inning.
Nice piece from Christian Koss. Either way, an RBI triple to score DeLuca. And now we have a meeting of the minds out on the mound. Ray Korn to have a word with Casey Queener, his right-hander out of Belmont. About as good a time as ever to have a word with the righty. That's his first earned run of the Cape League season given up so far. And Christian Koss really took him about as far as you can in McKeon Park without leaving the yard, period. 394 to dead center field. And that ball was just a little bit over to the right of dead center field. So you can imagine as it one hop the wall, might have gone at least 380 feet, maybe more. Noah Campbell now at the left side of the plate, the switch hitter out of South Carolina. Trying to at least make it an interesting last couple of innings in the Cape League batting race. The first pitch. Bouncer. McGill, the catcher, now in for the Harbor Hawks. Able to chest it up. He underhands it back to Casey Queener. Couple of newbies on the field for Hyannis right now. McGill playing his college baseball down at Columbia University. Liam McGill, native of Wakefield, Rhode Island. Anthony Pecora, as we mentioned, over at third base in place of Seth Gray. The 1-0. Cut on and roped foul towards the YD bullpen. There have been a litany of substitutions in this game. 1-1 the count. Casey Queener, the newest pitcher for the Harbor Hawks, and there have been a litany of debuts in this game for Hyannis. The 1-1. Bouncer in the dirt. McGill chests it up, keeps it in front of him, rolls down the first base line, covering Queener. But the third man, and Christian Koss, standing at third, does not go towards the plate. Count now advances to 2 balls and 1 strike on Campbell. Queener, the 8th pitcher for Hyannis on the day. The next pitch, high and inside for ball 3. That one around the eyes of the switch hitter. 6-0 the score. Hyannis kind of having a disappointing game to end the regular season out here on Cape Cod. The 3-1. Called strike in on the hands of the switch hitter out of Columbia, South Carolina. Count now runs full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Infield playing back. Another run already across the board in this frame. 6-0 now the score in favor of YD off of the RBI triple from Christian Koss. The payoff pitch. Called ball 4. And Noah Campbell makes his first trip to first base of the evening. He's on with a no-out walk to put runners on the corners. Andrew Doshbach now coming up to the plate for YD. Cleanup hitter out of Stanford. Not getting an inning off for himself here. He's 2 for 4, though, with a single and a double. A 2 RBI 2-bagger. Scored the 4th and 5th runs of the game for YD in the top of the 5th inning. He's at the right side of the plate against the righty Queener, who kicks and deals. A pitch that's hacked on and roped foul down the right field line. Gets out of play in a hurry. And the count now 0-1 on the Stanford Cardinal. So it's been a rough game for Hyannis, Rob, but the Harbor Hawks can still take a lot of positives from today. A Falmouth loss secured them 2nd place in the Western Division. The 0-1. Called a ball low and away. Count now 1-1. And you know what that means, Robert? Hyannis is guaranteed a home game to start the playoffs against the Cotuit Cavaliers this Saturday. The next pitch. Cut on and roped fair down the left field line and through for a base hit. Koss comes in to score easily on his horse Cords third base. Noah Campbell, he gets there standing up. Dashbach over to second base. That's an RBI double for Andrew. And the first baseman out of Stanford puts the YD Red Sox up 7-0. Still nobody down in the top of the 9th inning. Check that. I didn't mean Katuit there, Robert. You gave me a weird look, and that is correct. It is Falmouth that the Harbor Hawks will be playing. Katuit would not be able to leapfrog Falmouth by any stretch of the imagination, down with 48 points on the season, whereas Falmouth has 54. First pitch to Nick Quintana, called a strike over the outer half of the plate. Count now 0-1. Runners on second and third off of the RBI double from Andrew Dashbach. Campbell's over at third, Dashbach at second. 7-0 the score. YD leading. Nobody down here in the top of the 9th. Hyannis trying to work in as many arms as they could today. All those arms getting worked as the pitch to Quintana is a called strike. Count now 0-2 on the third baseman out of Arizona. This game pretty much a wash for both clubs, just trying to see what they have going into the playoffs right now. And Hyannis, with a litany of new ball players, is just trying to test the waters. The 0-2. High and outside for ball 1. Queener misses the spot there. And Hyannis still in search of the first out of the top of the 9th inning. Lights are fully on here at McKeon Park. It's a warm but blustery day in downtown Hyannis for the conclusion of the regular season. The 1-2. Hacked on and golfed foul. Count remains a ball and 2 strikes. Quintana played for the YD Red Sox last season. They didn't win a championship. That broke a 3-year championship reign for the YD Red Sox in the Cape League. As the 1-2 misses low and away for ball 2. Scott Pickler winning 3 championships in a row. And he told me straight up, you got to get a little bit lucky to win 3 in a row. And last year, luck was on the side of the Brewster Whitecaps, who ran the table from 3rd place in the Eastern Division to win their first championship since the year 2000. And Quintana definitely benefited from a season on the Cape. As the 2-2 is check swung on and swung right through, according to Larry Rosenberg, for strike 3. And the first out of the top of the 9th recorded in the form of a strikeout. Casey Queener getting back down to the norm for Hyannis. Quintana, after that season with YD, had an excellent year for the Wildcats down in Arizona. Batted .311 and 211 at-bats, slugged 14 homers, and had 55 RBIs as Quinn Cotton takes ball 1 low and away. Queener still operating with men on second and third. Already 2 runs on his bill here in the top of the 9th. 7-0, YD leading Hyannis. The 1-0. Bouncer in the dirt. It gets away from McGill behind home. Into score Campbell easily. Dashbach moves over to third base, and it's 8-0. YD over the Harbor Hawks, 1 away in the top of the 9th. Dashbach over to third. And the wild pitch called on Casey Queener. Quinn Cotton digs back in from the right side against the righty out of Belmont. 2-0 the count. Now only 1 runner on. It's Dashbach over at third. And the 2-0 is high and outside for ball 3. There's a righty getting loose in the Harbor Hawks bullpen. Could be yet another debut for this Hyannis team. They've sent 8 arms into the rotation and debuted 2 position players in just this inning alone. As the 3-0 pitch is a called strike on a breaking ball over the outer half. Count now 3-1 on Quinn Cotton. The 3-1. Called not a ball, but a hit batsman as it just gets off the front elbow protector of the left fielder out of Grand Canyon University. That's a hit by pitch, putting runners on the corners once again here in the top of the 9th inning. Luke Waddell coming up to the plate. 1 for 1 in his day. Came in relief of Reese Albert, who went 0 for 3 before being taken out in the top of the 8th inning. Waddell's over at the left side of the plate. Righty Queener deals. A ball low and inside. Count 1-0 on Waddell. Waddell playing his college baseball over at Georgia Tech. 1-0. Cut on and a rope up the right side through for a base hit. Doshbach in to score. Moving to second base, Cotton, and that's an RBI single for Waddell. It's 9-0 YD. Only one man down here in the top of the ninth inning, and the Red Sox starting to pile it on here at McKeon Park.
They sure are, and Queener just not a very good outing here today. More action going on in the Harbor Hawks bullpen. The Harbor Hawks right now look like it's going to be a little more out of reach.
Well, it's a game that the Harbor Hawks would like to have, but it's not necessarily the end of the world that they don't have it. The first pitch, called a ball. Kerner out for his second at-bat. He struck out, but reached on a pass ball in the top of the eighth inning. Matthew Dyer in the on-deck circle for the YD Red Sox. Runners on first and second, only one away in the ninth. The pitch, cut on, hacked foul. Count now 0-2 on the backstop, turned DH out of San Diego. The loss from the Commodores today, Rob, as we mentioned earlier in the inning, locking up second place for Hyannis, and they will face the Commodores in the Western Division semifinals as the 0-2 is cut on and missed for strike three. Kerner spikes the bat in disgust as he walks back towards the YD dugout, and there's two away here in the top of the ninth inning, but it looks like Chad Gassman has seen enough. The Harbor Hawks skipper has just stepped out of the dugout, and a new arm is making its way into this game. We'll be back in just a few moments for what could be the conclusion on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks digital network of this inning. Don't go anywhere. 9-0 the score. We'll be back in a jiff.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. Back to Chad Gassman making all the right moves on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks digital network.
Chad Gassman making plenty of moves in this ball game. 9-0 the score, two away in the top of the ninth inning. And Brian Weissert in for his Cape League debut, the 6'4", 190-pound junior out of Fordham, the ninth arm in this game for Hyannis. He faces off against Matthew Dyer. Righty on the mound, righty at the plate. Runners on first and second. The first pitch, a hack and a miss from the backstop. And it's an 0-1 count on Dyer. Matthew 1 for 3 in this game. 1 for 4, at a single. And a trio of outs by contact. Weissert to the set. And the 0-1. Fastball high and tight for ball one. Lights are on here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. McKeon Park lit up on a dark and muggy night here on the Hyannis Harbor. The YD Red Sox turning up the heat offensively on Hyannis tonight. The pitch. Breaking ball behind the head of Dyer. He has to duck away from that one. Able to avoid taking a beanball off the noggin. And the count advances to 2 balls and 1 strike. 2 away here, top of the 9th. Runners on first and second. Hyannis trying to get their way to their half of the 9th inning. The 2-1. Nasty breaking ball for ball 3. Looked like a little bit of a fork ball there. Coming high and then dying out automatically when reaching the outside corner. Weiser to the set again. The 3-1. Cut on and a grounder over towards short. It bad hops Wenzel, but he's able to field it at chest level. Throw on to second base for the easy force out. And there is the 9th inning. The YD Red Sox bat around, and they played 4 more runs on the Harbor Hawks to jump ahead 9-0. 4 hits doing the job for the Red Sox. No errors and 2 men left on base. Now we head to the bottom of the 9th inning where the Harbor Hawks look to get a little bit of offense together. Todd Lott, Seth Gray, and Pedro Pages due up as the Harbor Hawks try and get their way back in this one. Stick around. You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright.
Wait. She goes to Hofstra.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
We're back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Bottom of the 9th we go. A new arm into this game for the YD Red Sox. Coming in to face off against Todd Lott, Seth Gray, and Pedro Pages. Todd's at the right side of the plate. And the righty on the mound kicks and deals. A pitch that is cut on and roped back up the middle for a base knock. Todd Lott stops over at first base. And there's a leadoff man aboard to start the 9th inning.
Nice pitch there, or a nice hit, actually, by Todd Lott. Hitting it right up the middle. They're almost taking the reliever off of the YD Red Sox head off, but able to hit it right up the middle. Good way to start the 9th inning is the Harbor Hawks just trying to score a couple more runs. Or just trying to score a run because they're currently being shut out.
It's been a long day for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. And Mike Cowell from Fordham in to try and close the door on a 9-0 win for YD. Now Anthony Pecora making his season debut for Hyannis at the right side of the plate. The first pitch. Bouncer in the dirt, gets away from the catcher Free Shoes, a new defensive replacement. He throws down to second base. Todd Lott hosed out by the backstop out of Hofstra. And there's one away quickly here in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Todd Lott there for sure looked like he was going to be safe. But a good throw over by the YD catcher got him out for the first out.
Vito Freesia making his way into this ball game in place of Matthew Dyer, one of several defensive replacements. Over at second base right now, Randy Tavares. The next pitch. Called a ball low and away. Count now 2-0 on Pecora. Tavares is over at second. Noah Campbell moving into right field. The rest of the infield and outfield staying straight. The 2-0. Ball 3 high in sight on Pecora. Nine nothing your score. 3-0 the count on Pecora. One away here in the bottom of the ninth inning. Harbor Hawks just trying to find their way to a much-needed off day tomorrow. The 3-0. Called a strike. Pecora holding up. He plays his college ball for the Wagner Seahawks, coming off of an all-star campaign in the Valley League. The next pitch. Hacked on, nicked foul behind home. Count now 3-2 on Pecora. Cowell making pretty quick work of the Harbor Hawks here in his second inning of work. He's already gotten an out on a caught stealing by Todd Lott and worked his way back from a 3-0 count. The 3-2. Ball 4 on Pecora. He works a full count walk in his first at-bat of the Cape League season. Triumphant return to Hyannis for Pecora. Was able to make an appearance for the Harbor Hawks in the later part of 2016, where he went 5 for 11.
Good patience by him for sure. His first at-bat this season in the Cape Cod Baseball League. It's probably good for him to be back.
And now another new face at the plate for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks in McGill, catcher out of Columbia. First at-bat on the season for the backstop out of New York. Comes up with a runner on first base, one away here in the bottom of the ninth. The pitch. Called a strike over the outer half. A nice little breaking ball from Cowell. Oh, and 1 the count. McGill with a very tight batting stance as he watches the 0-1 sail way high and outside for ball 1. Not a lot of bend to the knees. Hunches over the plate just a little bit and wiggles the bat high behind his head, standing from the right side of the plate against the righty on the mound. Both play their college baseball in New York. Cowell out at Fordham and McGill from Columbia. The pitch. Wild one gets away from the backstop in Freesia, advancing Pecora over to second base. Pecora takes the free 90. McGill readjusts himself ahead in the count now 2-1. 9-0 the score. The Harbor Hawks behind. But plenty of offense to be proud of on the season as a whole from Matthew Barefoot, who tonight locked up the first Cape League batting title for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks since Johnny Rudiger did it in 2010. As the 2-1 is hacked on and missed high and outside for strike 2. McGill has to shorten up now in his first Cape League at-bat to avoid going down by way of the K. Infield playing just a little bit back. Covering on the man at second is Tavares, the second baseman. Pecora is taking a 2-step lead off the bag as the 2-2 is cut on and roped foul towards the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox dugout.
Actually landed in the dugout, but everything's okay.
Not a lot of flinching faces over there. YD's pretty much seen it all and conquered it all season long. They'll wrap up the Cape League campaign, should the result hold here, with a whopping 59 points. The next pitch. Called a ball low and away. Count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Second straight full count for Cowell. The other full count, Anthony Pecora, who stands on second base after advancing on a wild pitch. He reached on a 1-out walk after Todd Lott was caught stealing. A couple of intrepid fans left over here at McKeon Park. And the next pitch is hacked on and served foul. Count remains 3-2. An uproar now coming from the Hyannis Harbor Hawks dugout. Bunch of guys on their feet in there cheering on the new replacements. Looks like they're starting to get the team camaraderie going before the off day tomorrow. Maybe a couple of them will link up, get to know each other a little bit better, see if they can make a run out of this thing. Hyannis hungry for a Cape League championship. It's been a long time. 3-2. Caught on and a grounder up the middle, through for a base hit. Pecora rounding third base. He's given the wave home from Chad Gassman, and he goes in to score. And the first Cape League hit for McGill breaks up the shutout for YD. It's 9-1. Yarmouth Dennis still out front, but a big moral victory here for Hyannis.
A really nice job here by the Harbor Hawks, continuing to play hard, and some of the new guys that have came into the game now really making an impact in their first appearance.
And how about McGill out of Columbia making a big hit in his first appearance with the Harbor Hawks, driving in Pecora, bringing up Trevor Hauber. Right fielder 0 for 3 today. Comes up with a runner on first. 9-1 the score. One away in the bottom of the ninth. As the next pitch gets away from Freesia again behind home plate. A free 90 feet for Liam McGill, excuse me. He goes over to second base. The ball relayed back out to Cowell on the mound. And now Randy Tavares out for a word with his right-hander, the newly acquired second baseman. And following him is the pitching coach, Christian Wonder, for the YD Red Sox. I mean, Robert, there's a massive lead on hand for YD right now. Only one man on. No chance that anything Trevor Hauber could do with this at-bat right now would put that in jeopardy. What do you think Christian Wonder is speaking to his righty on the mound about?
I think he's just telling him to settle down, just pitch well, command your pitches, and let's get out of here.
Now Wonder off the mound. It was a quick discussion. Cowell now alone on the bump. Runner on second base after another wild pitch, his second of the inning. Trevor Hauber up at the dish right now. 1-0 the count on the Arizona State Sun Devil. Cowell to the set and the 1-0. Call it a strike over the outer half. Count even at a ball and a strike. 9-1. Now the score. YD out front, but Hyannis able to scrape one run across here in the bottom of the ninth inning. The 1-1 pitch. Cut on and miss for strike two. Trevor Hauber in danger of going down to 0 for 4 on the day. Tough act to follow in Liam McGill, who drove in the only run of the game in the at-bat before him. The 1-2, hacked on and missed for strike 3. And Trevor Hauber goes down swinging and brings the Harbor Hawks down to the final out of the game. 2 away in the bottom of the ninth. And Eric Rivera stepping up to the right side of the plate. Second baseman tonight, 1 for 3 with a single. Reached on a fielder's choice and otherwise grounded out to third base. Runner on second base, 9-1 the score. YD leading Hyannis and the pitch. Called a strike over the outer half. 0-1 the count. Not much to show for the Harbor Hawks in this game individually, but plenty for the Harbor Hawks as a whole. Looking back at the rest of the season, the 0-1. Cut on and a high chopper foul down the third base line. Eric Rivera trying to beat it out, but it rolls foul, so he has to get back to the batter's box. 0-2 now the count. Of all that content, you'll be able to get some sense out of it from Lyle Goldstein, who will be on for the postgame show in just a couple of moments here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Unless Eric Rivera can find a little bit of magic in that black bat he's waving behind his head. Counts actually 0-1 on the FAU infielder. The pitch, cut on and roped foul. Count now advances to 0-2. Liam McGill on second base. Started off his Cape League season quite nicely. The Columbia Lion not going to hit down the right side and bringing in Anthony Pecora to score the first run of the game. The 0-2. Ball one in the dirt. And Eric Rivera is back in the count. Brady Lindsley due up after Eric. Lights on here at McKeon Park. Eric Rivera fighting to keep the Harbor Hawks alive. The pitch. Hacked on and missed for strike 3. And this game is over. 9-1 the final score. Yarmouth Dennis taking the season finale and the series finale here at McKeon Park in lopsided fashion. But there will be more baseball for the Harbor Hawks. They wrapped up second place in the Cape League with a loss out in Falmouth for the Commodores tonight. Rob, a tough one for Hyannis today, but the biggest positive overall, there's more baseball to come. Playoff baseball for Hyannis for the first time since 2016 gets started on Saturday.
It does, and the Harbor Hawks have a lot to look forward to. They're going to have game 1 at home at 6 o'clock against the Falmouth Commodores. They have a nice day off tomorrow. I think all of the league does have the day off tomorrow. I'm not really sure if there's any games being played. But the Harbor Hawks should be very excited. They get to host a game at home against Falmouth, and they get to go there for game 2. All they have to be focused on is a game 1 and try to win that one. Take it day by day, pitch by pitch, play by play. That's the way you got to do it in the playoffs.
YD will start the playoffs on Saturday as well, most likely against the Brewster Whitecaps. Actually, against the Brewster Whitecaps, who wrapped up the 4 spot in the Eastern Division. Hyannis won't have to worry about another confrontation with YD for a little while unless they make it, and YD also makes it to the Cape Cod Championship Series. Hyannis made it last in 2015. And now Lyle Goldstein will break down what looks like the rest of the season for the Harbor Hawks, what the rest of the road looks like on the season for the Harbor Hawks. Playoffs starting up the day after tomorrow. Lyle will get it all broken down for you in just a few moments after a quick break on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Signing off on behalf of my broadcast partner, Robert Marcello. I'm Chris Lucy. Thank you so much for listening to our play-by-play tonight, and have a great evening.
Magic Media copyright. Magic Media copyright.
Welcome into the Hyannis Harbor Hawks post-game show. I'm Lyle Goldstein as the Harbor Hawks drop a 9-1 contest in the 44th and final game of the regular season against the YD Red Sox. Kind of a lopsided one for the Harbor Hawks tonight. Hyannis gives just 5 hits as a team total, 1 run, and no hits coming across for the ball club coming until the 6th inning on a hit from Brady Lindsley, an infield single. But it's more about the big picture for the Harbor Hawks this season, to say the least. They reached the postseason for the first time since 2016, and the stage is now set. With the loss tonight, they clinch the number 2 seed in the Western Division, and with a Falmouth loss tonight, they sit at number 3. So the 4 in order: Wareham at 1, Hyannis at 2, Falmouth at 3, and Cotuit at 4. So these very Falmouth Commodores will be traveling here to McKeon Park on Saturday evening. First pitch slated for 6 p.m. between the Commodores and the Harbor Hawks. East Division set as well. Even with the YD loss tonight, they clinched the number 1 seed long ago as they sit with 59 points to end the season. Chatham at 2, Harwich at 3, and Brewster at 4. Matthew Barefoot, one bright spot tonight for the Harbor Hawks, picked up a walk and a single, and that average put him at a .379 clip for the season, leading the Cape Cod League in home run, leading the Cape Cod League in average. That average beating out Noah Campbell. The two were within 100th of a point today going into it, but an 0 for day for Campbell, and Barefoot picking up a hit. He now sits atop the Cape League in average to end the season. Meanwhile, Harbor Hawks will flush this one with an off day tomorrow and then be back at it right here at 6 o'clock against the Commodores. Quickly, the lines for each team tonight. Whitey, 9 runs on 9 hits, no errors, 7 left on base. Hyannis, 1 run on 5 hits, 1 error, and 6 left on. Brady Batten, the winning pitcher tonight for the Whitey Red Sox, the right-hander out of Houston Baptist, making his first start of the season, and he was flat-out dominant. 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, no runs, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Hyannis, on the other hand, using 9 different pitchers in tonight's contest, 7 guys making their Cape League debut. Quickly taking you around the rest of the league, Wareham up 6-4 on Bourne. Harwich and Brewster in a 7-2 game in favor of the Mariners. Orleans out 6-3 against the Chatham Anglers. They, of course, eliminated from postseason contention. That one out at Eldridge Park in the final game of the season for Kelly Nicholson's ball club. And then one more time, Katuitt beats Falmouth 5-4, and Whitey takes down the Harbor Hawks 9-1 in the 44th and final game of the regular season. That'll just about do it for us here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. An off day tomorrow, but you can catch us right back at McKeon Park. 6 p.m., first pitch of postseason baseball. The first time you've heard those words for the Harbor Hawks since 2016. Falmouth and Hyannis squaring off in just under 48 hours. We'll take you through pregame coverage and the entire call back here at 6 o'clock at McKeon Park. Until then, I'm Lyle Goldstein signing off. Have a great night, and we'll see you on Saturday.